Have you ever wondered how you can get a man completely obsessed with you without ever even sleeping with him? Isn't it frustrating to feel like it's impossible to keep a man truly interested in you unless you first have sex with him? What if I told you it's possible to channel your sexual, seductive goddess energy into creating obsession in him without ever even having sex with him? If you want to learn how that works, then join me on today's show where we'll be discussing how to use sex to make men fall in love with you. That way you understand how to utilize this sexual energy that you already possess to have him wrapped around your finger without ever even giving him anything to get it. Point number one is about narrative. Narratives are very important in your relationship, and they start from the very beginning, because as you're building a narrative in your relationship, that will be the idea and the concept that you fall back on time and time again as a foundational element of what you two are trying to do here. How does this play a role in how you're going to use sex to make a man fall in love? A man always has a natural desire for sex, to orgasm, to procreate. That's great. That's awesome. We want to use that to get him to a special destination that is even more amazing than just orgasm. Now, when it comes to narratives, we don't want a narrative building from the very beginning that you are here and he is here. We don't want this narrative of sex in your relationship and the possibility of sex in your relationship to be, I want things done this way and you want things done a different way, and me and you are on two totally different paths here. Because what's gonna happen is this is gonna make it feel like the two of you are in opposition. You guys aren't sharing in your path towards success. That in order for him to be happy, he has to take a totally different path than you do in order for you to be happy. How does this really relate to making men fall in love through sex? See, what we're doing here from the beginning is we're creating a narrative where in order to get to this destination here, which is a relationship, both of you are leading and joining together to get to this destination together. And this narrative is really important because you want to make sure that as time is going on, you're going to anticipate some of the frustrations he's going to have. You're going to anticipate some of the ways he's going to respond to you in this situation based on what you're trying to do. And you're going to be building this narrative so that this becomes a foundational element of your relationship that you're going to work to for your benefit. You're not going to make a man feel like, hey, sex is never on the table for you. I would never even dream of giving you sex in a million years. Why? Because it's going to put you in opposition. Obviously, the men that you're meeting who are attracted to you have a desire for sex. That's not a crime. What we want to make sure that we do is we want to channel that energy in the right place so that he's focused rather than just on having sex with you quickly, getting to that destination by working for you and both of you working together to both receive what you want, that you'll have a happy relationship that is filled with amazing sex, but also amazing connection and also an amazing bond. Setting this stage for this narrative at the beginning is very important, because what we don't want is for him to feel like, oh, you're playing a game with him. We don't want him to feel like you're purposely trying to frustrate him or you're purposely trying to hold out on him, because it's not going to create the desired effect. We want him to desire you. We want him to want this. We want him to pursue you. And in order for us to do that properly, we want to make sure that he's always aware, I want you too. I'm feeling this energy too. I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm all lubed up. Oh my gosh, I'm all wet. I want what you have to offer. The only reason we haven't gotten to that point is because we want to make sure that the both of us have the strongest possible relationship that we can have before we get into the stage of sleeping with each other. Point number two is about playfulness. When you meet a guy, one of the things you want to remember is that in your femininity, we want to create a fun, low stakes environment. You want to focus on the feeling that you give men. We want to be focused on giving them a feeling. See, the mistake that a lot of people will make in the way that they'll tell you to deal with and approach men in this dating world is because obviously men will take advantage of you if you allow them to take advantage of you. Sometimes you can come to your dates with your hard hat, your helmet on, and your work and construction boots on, taking notes and saying, hey, I'm not here to get played. So make sure you answer each one of my 35.3 questions. And each one of your answers better take at least 3 sentences or more. Please use point. When you do that, you're going to make a relationship very painful for men. And you're going to find yourself very disconnected from the men that you're dating because there's no seduction in that approach. There's no emotion in that approach. You're actually taking away one of the most important parts of the relationship, which is the sexual element, is the attraction element. It's very hard to be attracted to someone who feels very robotic in their stance and in their approach. So what we want to do is we want to create playfulness from the very beginning in the way that you talk to and interact with him. Let's say you're talking to this guy about the gym. An example of playfulness would be in this scenario where you guys are talking about the gym. Let's just say you make a joke about, oh, I'm never having you as my trainer. Trust me, we're never going to the gym together. And then he's going to say something like, well, why? Why would we never gonna go to the gym? This is going to be his natural response. He's curious now. You're extending some curiosity. And your response will be, you are way too distracting. I'm there to work out. I know you're gonna be talking to me, you're gonna be doing this, you're gonna be doing that. All this other stuff is gonna be very distracting to me. Now, what you're doing is you're being a little bit playful. You're telling him, don't come to my gym. I don't wanna work out with you. I don't wanna be around you. Why? Because I don't wanna be distracted by you. What do you mean by distracted by me? What's going to be distracting you? Do you have some sort of attraction to me? If you weren't attracted to me, if you weren't into me, why would you be so distracted? But you see how you're being a little bit playful here in the way that you talk and interact with him. It's like, hey, you're telling him, don't come to the gym, don't work out with me, don't be my trainer. I could never have you as a trainer. If you were my trainer, I'd never get anything done. But you're not actually saying what it is that you're really trying to say. But it's good. That's part of what playfulness is. Not actually spelling it out for people exactly how you feel or what you want. And when you're dancing and you're flirting with someone, that is actually what's the most interesting. Rather than saying, oh, yeah, actually, I'm super attracted to you and, you know, your muscles are huge and I'm really turned on right now because of how big your muscles are and I think you're super hot. It's not gonna have the same effect as the implication. Don't come to my gym. I'm trying to get work done. I need to be focused. It's the same understanding of what someone is trying to say, but the fact that you don't say it and you're being a little bit playful with it is what makes it fun and creates an environment where there's seduction going on. It leaves a little bit left to mystery. Seduction is also being a little bit mysterious and being a little bit less on the nose about everything you're feeling or you're thinking. When it comes to seduction, when it comes to emotion and creating a feeling within someone, especially for men, being playful and being a little bit mysterious is a lot more fun and exciting and enticing than being on the nose, being super blunt, and being super straightforward. And point number 3 is about kinky games. What do I mean by kinky games? Whenever you're thinking about how to use sex to make men fall in love, if you can connect sex with other aspects of your relationship, you will be speaking a man's language. Men will fall in love with you more when they invest in you more, whether it be financially, emotionally, physically, spiritually, all of that stuff. The more that they invest in you, the more and deeper their feelings are for you. What you also want to understand though is men don't really understand how to invest unless they're naturally motivated to invest. What I mean by that is they understand how to pursue sex and they understand how to pursue the opportunity of sex. So if you can take that understanding that men have naturally and you can connect that to investment, then you can create a scenario in which as this guy is naturally pursuing sex, he's also simultaneously pursuing investment into you, which is connecting everything in the way that you want. Let me give you a perfect example of what I mean by that. I have your daddy buys a dress, he takes me out to dinner, and he spends money on me. Creating a kinky game out of this where, oh my gosh, anytime you buy me things, anytime you treat me like a princess, you take me out, you want to know what that does for me? Oh, that gets me so wet. Oh my God, you wouldn't even understand how turned on I am. Oh my God, when I see you paying that bill and it's $150, it does something to my body. Oh my God, when you're shopping for me and you come back with my favorite red dress, you wouldn't understand the way it just makes me shiver. And you're just such a big, strong man when you take care of things like a man. You want to know what these broke men are doing? They're going 50-50 with their... You're a big, strong, amazing, powerful man. When you talk like that, you're speaking his language. And don't ever make a mistake here. You're doing something for yourself simultaneously as you're doing something for him. You're connecting sex with the way that he treats you. Very, very important thing to connect for men. They don't understand that you feel good about something until you speak a language that they want to hear. makes you feel good. When you tell them something turns you on, now their ears are perked up. Oh, wait, what? What'd you say? If you're turned on, that must mean sex could be right around the corner, or the possibility of it could be right around the corner. So the more that you tell me something is turning you on, the closer I am to the possibility of sex. And if I'm closer to the possibility of sex, I need to keep on doing that thing over and over again so that I can eventually get to that destination, because men have that natural desire to get to that destination. So you see how when you start speaking his language, now you start giving him this internal motivation to say, okay, you want to get closer to that destination or possibility of sex? You really want to get me wet, lubricated, and turned on? All of this stuff you've been doing, all that spending money, buying dinner, being a big, strong man, taking care of me, giving me princess treatment, that's doing something crazy for me. Do you start to see how you're using sex to make him invest in you, and his investment in you is what's subsequently going to make him fall in love deeper and deeper and deeper in you? Any type of investment, it could be spiritually, it could be emotionally, doing things for you, all of that investment is what over time is going to make him fall deeper and deeper in love with you, because men don't know how to take action for a woman and not on an ongoing basis begin to feel feelings for that woman. It's just very difficult. When they start taking action for you, it's connected to their emotions towards you. When they stop taking action for you subsequently, it's also connected to their lack of investment or feelings towards you. Point number 4 is about banter. Now, when it comes to banter, what I want you to be understanding in conversation, you want it to have a flow. Conversation is supposed to feel fun and light. I'm not saying you can't ever talk about something serious, but when we're talking about seduction, it shouldn't be like you're a drill sergeant. It shouldn't feel like that. If you're trying to seduce him, if you're trying to make that sexual energy be present in your relationship, we want to create a flow to the conversation that feels very natural, even though you're being calculated, but it feels very natural when it's coming out of you, and it feels very natural when you guys are having conversation. I'm going to explain the terminology of banter. Banter is what's going to show him that you are witty. Banter, essentially, in its most basic definition, is just your ability to kind of play off someone, make jokes at them, tease them a little bit, not necessarily be so focused on, oh, I just want to be super serious. I want to talk about how much I like you, everything I like about you, and solely figure out how we're going to make a relationship work. I want you to play with him a little bit. I want you to tease him a little bit. Why? Because your ability to tease someone and actually be quick-witted with your words and being able to have your own little comebacks actually shows someone that you're very witty. As you're able to show someone that you're very witty, you're also showing them that you have intelligence. Because in order to be witty, in order to have your quick comebacks, you have to have that intelligence to be able to say things like that and do things like that. In that intelligence that you show him, you're subsequently going to be a lot more attractive. When men can feel like, oh, this woman's like on my level. She can take it, but she can also dish it out a little bit too. It helps men see you as their equal rather than seeing you as below them, which is good. We want men to meet you and from the very beginning, make them have the feeling that you're just as capable as he is, that you're just as intelligent as he is, that you're just as witty as he is, because what it also shows him indirectly is that he will find it difficult to get over on you in this relationship or to pull the wool over your eyes in this relationship. As you're having fun and as you're playing around, you're showing him something without having to tell him anything. When you're able to be like this, when you're able to banter with him, he understands, okay, it's not like she's someone where I can just convince her of anything. Because clearly she has this wittiness and intelligence about her that, one, I find attractive, but also shows me that she's more in line with my level of intelligence, my level of understanding, that I'm not just going to be able to tell her whatever I want to tell her and she'll believe it. Banter is another version of playfulness, but it's just more about the words and the way that you're interacting with that guy. You still have to get good at being able to have a flow towards your conversations and make people feel things when you talk to them. Because if you can't, you'll be in a position where you're powerless. It'll be very difficult for you to seduce anyone if your only skill set is being shy in the corner, not talking, not looking at anyone in the eyes, and looking down all the time. Let's hop into our point number 5. When you have a car and you have gas to fuel that car, you can get yourself to your desired destination. How does this relate to your relationships? It's the same exact thing. But instead of it being a car, the car represents the man. And your gas in this scenario is actually sex, and your destination that is desired by both of you is a relationship. So I talked about this earlier. In terms of where you guys are trying to end up, it should be the same destination for both of you. But what you're strategically doing here is you're recognizing that men understand how to be motivated if you input something that speaks their language, which is sex. So you allow sex to feel like it's around the corner, because knowing, or him feeling like it's around the corner, is what's going to actually motivate him to get this thing going and drive it in a direction of this destination, which is a relationship. When you allow sexual tension to exist in your relationship and you don't shy away from it, because this can be the mistake. When you feel sexual tension, you try to say, nope, we can't be feeling this right now. This is not the time for that. I've got to be strict. I've got to be a drill sergeant. We can't have this going on. I don't want to give you the wrong impression. And you get into a place where you forget how motivating this can be for men to continue progressing the relationship forward and continue pursuing you. You're making a grave mistake. Because when men feel this tension within you, they feel the motivation to continue progressing forward and continuing to pursue you. He's pursuing you because his attraction to you gives him a natural desire to have sex with you. But as he explores the desire to have sex with you, and he does things for you, and he invests more in you, he gets closer and closer to this destination indirectly. So if you can just understand how to fill him with that tension and make him feel like, I'm not playing no game with you, I don't have no 60-day or 90-day or 30-day rule, I'm just feeling what I feel with you. Knowing in your mind, I'm not going to give it to you right now, but I'm feeling what I feel with you. And when there's tension, oh boy, there's tension. The both of us feel that tension. I'm just as attracted to you as you are. I'm just as into you as you are. And what you're doing is you're making him feel like, oh boy, any one of these days, we might sleep with each other. Any one of these days, we'll just have each other and we'll have the most amazing time. That's actually a good thing. And I know it feels a little bit manipulative, but I want the guy that you're dating to kind of feel like, ooh, the way that we have sexual tension going on, it could come one of these days. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be the next day. But I just feel there's a lot of attraction going on here. I feel she wants me and I know I want her and I know we got a thing going on. This is what helps to keep them in their trance, where on an ongoing basis, they're like, oh my God, last time when I was with her, I don't know. I was feeling it and I thought we might have done it. And it was just like the way she was looking at me. I don't know what's going to happen the next day, but I'm ready for it. And it keeps them in a motivated state. When we're doing this process, even though we're setting boundaries and even though we're making sure that men aren't going to take advantage of you, we don't want to let go of one of your biggest superpowers as a woman, is in your seduction. And part of your seduction is allowing men to desire you and be attracted to you. Point number 6 is about limits. Limits can be very difficult to navigate if you don't understand what it is you're actually doing here. In order for you to have limits, you have to understand the destination that you're shooting for. You want that man to fall in love. This is your desired destination that you're trying to get to. On your road to this destination, you have to remember, as you're going in this direction to get to that destination of making that man fall in love with you, you're going to reach temptation yourself. You're going to be in moments of weakness yourself. When you feel that attraction towards him as well, it's going to be difficult sometimes to stop yourself from doing everything all at once. What I don't want, and my fear, is that as you're practicing seducing him and as you're practicing making him feel all of this sexual tension, is that you'll get to a point where you say, well, damn, I really do actually like you. And I really do actually like spending time with you. And I am not joking around when I say I'm wet when you spend money on me and you do all this other stuff for me and you buy me these things. I actually am turned on. And now that we're kissing, now that we're touching, I just want to do everything at once. I know that I'm supposed to be pacing myself and pacing you and pacing this relationship, but I feel things that I've never felt before, and I just want to let go of all of my different strategies and do what I feel is best in the moment. This is a grave mistake, because when we're using sex to make men fall in love, we actually can't give men sex right away. Unfortunately, if we give men sex right away, we won't be doing what you're trying to do, which is make them fall in love through their desire for sex. When you're using his desire for sex to help him invest more in you so that he does fall in love, what we can't do is give all of that away that he no longer has that desire. As you're going on to this destination here, you're going to continuously have checkpoints which we talk about in previous shows, different checkpoints that you're looking out for before you go into the next step of your physical relationship. But you want to understand when you're going into anytime you're doing anything intimate with him, knowing what your limits are. Because what you're not going to do is you're not going to do everything all at once. But even when there's sexual tension and even when the two of you are doing things with each other, you need to be able to have the willpower to remind yourself, I have to stop it once it gets to a certain point. No matter how good I feel, no matter how amazing the vibes are, no matter what the scenario, I have to set a limit for myself. This is difficult. It's not very easy. This is where you have to have immense willpower. And it's very easy to mess this part up. Because when you're feeling the vibes a lot, you just want to do it all. But then you're defeating the purpose of allowing the doing a little bit to give him the motivation to say, okay, I want to see you another day. Remember, you're never just trying to have one amazing date. You're trying to have many amazing dates that will eventually lead to an amazing relationship. So just allowing yourself to enjoy a little bit at one time, but not going all the way, is actually such an important part of using sex to make men fall in love. Because as you can progress just a tiny little bit, even in your sexual intimacy, it continues to motivate him to say, oh boy, I wonder what I can do or say or be in order to get to that next checkpoint. And that doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. As men become internally motivated by their desire to sleep with you, they will continue investing in you. As they continue investing in you, that's when they learn about you, they understand you better, they grow in their relationship with you, and then they eventually get to the point where they say, no, I don't just want to have sex with her, I also like the person that she is. I also am becoming attached to the relationship that we have outside of the sex. So point number 7 is about frustration. Now I'm specifically referring to sexual frustration. One of the things that you will probably struggle with when you're trying to withhold sex from men because you're using it to help him to fall in love with you is you'll fall into this trap of feeling very bad and sad for him. The reason you feel very bad and very sad is because you don't feel good about making him so frustrated with you. Because you know when you're kissing him and he's touching you, he's all horned up. And when he's all horned up, when you leave after just a bunch of kissing and touching, that he's a little bit frustrated because he didn't get to come. Okay, let's just be for real. When we're thinking about this destination, and let's just say it's at 30%. You guys are 30% of the way there in terms of what you know about each other, how you understand each other, how you go about your relationship and everything. You're closer, but you're not there. What we don't need to happen, we don't need you to get to 90% in one day because it's not necessary and it doesn't serve you. The truth of the matter is, what serves you the most is even if each one of these days it goes to 31 and then another day is 32 and then another day is 33, it's a lot better for you to incrementally go up little by little, even if it's frustrating for him to go up little by little, because what will happen is as he continues to invest in you over the course of time, it'll become harder for him to walk away from you. So even though he's gonna express frustration with not being able to go to 90% in one day, if he has respect for you and he actually wants to be with you, even though it's frustrating to not get the 90% in one day, he will come back and invest again. And then he'll get a little bit of progress. Then he'll come back and invest again. And he'll get a little bit of progress. So it's so important to understand what your ultimate goal is, using sex to help motivate him to continue pursuing you and progressing the relationship forward. You're obviously not going to never have any sort of intimacy with him. And you're obviously going to express some of that intimacy with him at certain times by doing certain things with him. You might tongue kiss him, you might make out, he might feel you up, you might feel him up, whatever the case may be. But you're not going to let him have that ultimate goal all in one day. That way, he keeps coming back as a repeat customer. You also get an opportunity to feel him out, feel the vibes out, and feel what his level of interest in you really is. What I mean by that is you'll find out very quickly the men who become frustrated and say, I was only here to sleep with you in the first place, so I don't even want to do this anymore. You'll also get an understanding of the men who are frustrated, but they still continue to invest in you. Take note of a man's actions because men can express frustration with not being able to sleep with you while still investing in you. So what does it really matter if he continues to invest in you? Now, if you see a change of actions, that's a different thing.